I can't thank you enough. You rock. Gentlemen, the floor is yours. Take off.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming. You are here for Tool Drop, Free as in Beer. Who loves free tools? Everyone, yeah. And really, you might ask yourself why we do this. The reason why we do this is because we are Centercom. We're a group of penetration testers based out of Brookfield, Wisconsin. And we rely on tools that probably some of you have written every single day. And so, we use tools like Derby, we use tools like Metasploit, we use PowerSplit, a whole bunch of tools that people are just taking time to write. Because of that, this is our just wanting to give back a little bit. You're not going to see any outstanding slides. We have no wonderful visuals other than to simply run through a few demos, put up some GitHub, put up some links, and let you guys have at it. And we're going to try and cast a broad net. By broad net, I mean we're going to demo some red team tools, we're going to demo some blue team tools, and really all of these scripts, because that's what they are. We're not releasing any outstanding, sexy frameworks that are extensible. Really, this is meant to be download, put in an argument, run it, and you get some stuff back. That's really all this is. So we believe in simplicity. So like I said, we don't have a slide deck, and we might not have a laptop, but we have a spare. So we're so we're good. One thing that we're going to demo first, man, Hans, ain't no way anybody can be able to see that. Yeah. What's that? We don't have. It's cut. Can you drag it down? You drag. Oh boy. Okay. 2 minutes, he says. So, a priest, a Catholic, and a Jew walk into a bar. I'm just kidding. I'm not even going to go down that road. Resolution problems. It's wonderful. I'll give you an idea real quick while he's working that out. Hey, there we go. Yeah. Everybody see that? Even in the back? I hope you can. I'll give you an idea real quick of what we're going to talk about. Anybody here work on Active Directory or group policy? Okay, quite a few. How many Nessus users? All right, awesome. Hopefully you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this. Red teamers. Blue team? Oh, wow, all right. And people unemployed? I only saw about 25%. You raise your hand. Okay, so what we're going to talk about first is, this is actually a script that I wrote called Invoke GPO Links. And where this originally started was, like I said, we're penetration testers, but that's not all we do. So if we go in and we own an organization and we tell them, hey, you got these weaknesses, what they might do is hire us to come back and actually try and fix some stuff. So that's exactly what happened in one company where they brought us back in. And I was looking over their group policy objects, and I needed a really quick, fast way of interrogating. I think they had like 150 GPOs, and I'm like, I don't know what the security settings are. I don't know if you're secure, if you're insecure. I have no idea. And I only had about 4 hours to work this through. So what this is just a simple PowerShell script that you run it against a group policy export. So before we actually kick this off, if you're an AD administrator, you should hopefully are familiar with the PowerShell AD commandlets. One of those commandlets is, I think it's get GPO report. You run a GPO report, you export this to XML, okay? And so what this script does is it takes an XML import and Hans? I put my poor guy under the microscope here. Nope, you got to pass in the XML. That's a text file. See users something desktop, and here comes an XML file, gpos.xml. So before we actually run this, the only argument that this takes is the XML file that you exported just previously. So go ahead and kick it off. And all it's going to do is, I hope you can see this. If you can't, I'll step you through it. What's happening right here is that it is parsing through all of the group policy objects that it found in the XML file, and then it basically spits out this text file. So go ahead and cat that file, Hans, if you don't mind. Nope. It's PowerShell, and you can cat in PowerShell. I don't want to hear typing. No. So anyways, what do you get here? Scroll all the way up to the top, if you don't mind. So if you can't see this, I apologize. Let me actually talk you through this. What it's going to do is it's actually going to spit out the security settings. Network security, do not store LAN manager hash value on next password change, and that is set to true. And then what it's demonstrating here, this is actually the default domain policy. It's showing you that it's linked to the top level OU, which is lab.com, and the E here stands for enabled, because you can have linked policies, but the link is disabled. So in this particular case, there's a disabled link. That's for D, and then you scroll down a little bit, and here's where I created a test policy called test Windows Server 2012 R2. You see all the various security settings set to false, the actual values that they're set to, and then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it'll actually tell you if that policy is enabled or not. And then finally, this is one thing that drives me nuts. If you're working in a huge environment and you got hundreds or worse, thousands of GPO objects, and you inherit this domain. I've talked to a lot of people who they get hired on as an AD administrator, and they inherit a domain. They're like, I don't know what security settings are set. I have no idea. So this thing down here just tells you you have GPOs that are not used at all and could probably just be backed up and deleted. So like I said, really simple. Not a massive framework that this is, but it's just something that is handy if you're an AD administrator. If you just inherit a domain, or worse, you want to get a little more insight into your group policy objects. That's exactly what this is for. So blue team tool. So how about a red team tool? So in this particular case, we're going to talk about a tool that one of my coworkers wrote, Casey. We have a video for this demo, and the reason being is because there's a little more intricacy to the test environment that we didn't necessarily want to get into. So what this is a pure PowerShell memory scraper, and what the memory scraper does is that it takes go ahead and kick off the video. What this does is this would be a PostX tool. So you have command and control. Hold on, pause it. You have command and control on your system, and you are running this PowerShell script, and it takes one argument, and actually takes multiple arguments, but in this particular case, we're passing in proc and iExplorer. So what this means is that if you suspect that credit cards are being run through Internet Explorer, handy if you're testing banks, credit unions, stuff like that, if you're on a teller machine perhaps, then you pass in a process where you suspect credit card information is being handled. So what this is going to do is, all this is doing is simply running out mini dump from PowerSploit. So it's going to perform an out mini dump against the process that you pass in. Go ahead and run it. And it's going to start scraping those files. So in this case, Casey is taking a credit card. This is actually an old credit card, so don't get excited. He's taking one of his credit cards. He's running it through a Magtech stripper. It's populating out a Magtech's test website. And it's going to scrape that data once it sees it getting pulled in. And the magic. Target process, dumping, scraping, looking, and then right about... And we wait, and we're going to sit here and get to know each other. Oh, there it is. So track data. Pause right there. Casey Camilleri, that's actually that's his old credit card number. Like I said, don't get excited. So that's another very, very simple script that and it runs in an infinite loop. And once it's done, it just cleans up after itself, so there's no dump files left on disk. So if you're very, very concerned about OPSEC, chances are if Windows, or if you have some kind of defensive countermeasures in place that are actually looking for dump files or things being written to disk, it will pick this up, obviously. However, one of the really evil switches to that script is send log. So what you can actually do is you can put in a web server or something that's listening on port 80, and it will actually pass, or it will encode the PAN data, base64 encode it, and then send a GET request with that data to your web server. So if you decide to do this, we recommend not doing it across the internet. Post it back to a server that you have on the network. Otherwise, there's PCI problems and people go to jail. So let's not do that. So next tool that we're gonna talk about. This is for all you Nessus users. One thing, so in our organization, we run Nessus. We like Nessus. It's a great tool. However, one of the problems that we have, or that we had, is when we would run Nessus, and let's say we're doing a vulnerability assessment. We're doing it on, 100 or 1,000 machines. Well, you're going to get back a ton of vulnerabilities. Okay, anybody that runs Nessus internally, chances are you understand this. You're going to see a lot of vulnerabilities. They're going to be ranging in criticality. And so when we do this as penetration testers, we're lacking a way that we could take this massive Nessus file that we get and hand it over to them in any way that's going to be consumable. Now, you can export to HTML from Nessus, and that's good, but it makes it difficult to copy and paste. It's not the most readable or usable formats, at least not in our opinion, so we want to give a little bit more of a value add to our customers. So we created a tool, what's called Vulnerability Compliance Reporter, or VCR for short. So when we have problems, we adjust the tracking. And two people who are 30 years or older actually got that joke. So in this particular case, so you run Nessus, and you go into Nessus and you export your file into a .nessus format. All a .nessus file is just XML under the covers. That's all it is. Okay, so you actually run this. In this case, we're running against a file for Acme Corporation. You actually can't see some of the arguments here. I apologize. In this particular case, we're passing in 2 arguments. This one over here that's actually cut off is -customer name. And the reason why the customer name is there is because that gets written into the HTML. And then the other one is simply just a path. Oh, here we go. There you go. Nessus file path. So customer name, Acme Corp, Nessus file path, and you're passing the Nessus file. So go ahead and kick that off. What it's going to do is going to parse through that file, and then it's going to start spitting out HTML reports for each one of the hosts. We have tested this up to about a 400 megabyte file. I have to admit, PowerShell's XML processing can be unpredictable. There are a few ways to do it, but in this particular case, we did our best to make it as optimized as we could. However, it's going to parse through each one of those, each one of the hosts, and it's going to create various host reports. And in the output directory, you will get, where'd you put it? Live demos, you gotta love this. In the output directory, you see there Acme Corp. That's actually where the folder that will be created. And we're navigating, we're double clicking. Do you have the key stuck?
No, it's not mapping correctly.
Oh. Everybody watch Hans click. Nope, back up. I saw it in the other directory. Scroll down. There you go. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Right. Yep. Right there. We're in the Acme Corp directory, and it's going to create index.html. You open that up in a modern browser, please. By modern, I mean IE 11 plus. If you're in an enterprise and you're running like IE 6, you have other problems. But anyways, open that up in a modern browser, and what you'll get is actually this report that is going to hit the screen right about now. Okay, so what you're going to see is, I wouldn't worry about zooming too much in this particular case, Hans, but you basically had a summary page. Scroll down a little bit, please. This is all PowerShell based. Hold up right there. Over on the left, you get a chart that describes the percentage of vulnerabilities that are contained in the report. This is all completely PowerShell based. So it's sitting on top of the .NET framework or making calls to the .NET visualization libraries. So requirement is PowerShell 3 plus in this particular case. So scroll down. What you're going to get is you're going to get something of a heat map, I guess, for lack of a better term. And you open that up. And what you're going to see is in the upper left, these are color code to match what you get in Nessus. And in the upper left, you see hosts where it's all based on criticality. So if you click on one of those hosts, son of a gun, how is this not working? God. Inner Explorer restrict this page from running scripts. Allow block content, please. It's going to run a ton of jQuery. Stop clicking. What's that? So anyways, what will eventually happen while the script is running is the vulnerabilities will compress. Hey, they compressed. Okay. And what you can actually do is that is just so weird, dude. Do you have like right click help? Anyways, you can go into one of these and expand it and actually get details on the vulnerability itself. Scroll back up, Hans, if you don't mind. These reports are all IP based, but in the upper right hand corner there is there is a report, or it just says vulnerability report. So one feature that we know everybody's going to want is, yeah, you're going to want to see it by IP, but then you're going to want a massive list of all the vulnerabilities that are organized. And if you click in one of those vulnerabilities, you're going to see each and every one of the IPs that are affected. So this is one of the tools that if you were to hire us and we did a pen test for you and we ran Nessus, we would give you the output of this. However, like I said, we use pen test tools that everybody has devoted their time to and released in open source. So we're putting this out on GitHub with full instructions on how you can customize it for your company. You might not want to see Synercom's logo everywhere. So if you want to do this internally, this would be great if you do not want to give your auditors access to Nessus, which we would understand, of course. So, oh, you actually clicked the vulnerability report. Scroll. This is Windows, dude. That's why it's Windows. Click the top one. Yeah, yeah. So scroll down, and in this particular case, there's only one IP that's associated to that. Oh, there we go. So now you actually have it broken down by IP, by port, by protocol, gives you descriptions, all that kind of stuff. Any questions about what you've seen so far? No? You liking this? Is this worthwhile? Okay, I see heads nodding. So what we're going to do is, for the final demo, Hans here wrote a tool that will actually allow you to, on the fly, create multiple servers that are in Amazon AWS and then proxy all of your outbound connections to it. So we're switching from blue team back to red team. So there could be some good use for blue team as well if you don't want to get caught for whatever reason. But red team, this is an outstanding tool. So Hans is actually going to talk and type and click at the same time. So good luck.
All right, so one of the problems that we ran into while doing these assessments is that the client that we were working with, either it was a blind assessment or they just forgot to whitelist us. So when we're running our scans, be it Nmap or burp, whatever, eventually their IDS, IPS, or firewalls would start blocking us, and then we'd have to switch to a new IP publicly, or we'd have to go online to Amazon and start routing our traffic to that. And with that, well, that's really lame. What if we could use kind of like a botnet where we could just generate traffic locally and then ship that across the internet, across multiple machines, kind of divvy up that all up to different systems and have it come from those. You distribute the load, making it difficult for the end device to really detect you and block you. And so that's what this tool is. The tool itself does have a few switches that you would send to it. In this case, it's designed to interact with Amazon, so you would have to provide an image ID and an image type. ID would be the type of build. In this case, we're using an Ubuntu build. The image type in this case is a T2 micro because we don't need a lot of horsepower on these images. The number of instances you want to spin up, we're going to do in this demo, we're going to do 3, but you could do up to 20 with the regular license with Amazon. You can go higher, but I think you have to ask permission for it. Region, that's just the region you're going through, and then the key ID and access key, those are the keys that you get with Amazon when you sign up an account. This is so you can start using their API. This is all written in Python using the Boto. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what? Yeah. So it's all using this library. It's not standard with Kali, but there's a comment in the script where you can download it. It's just a pip install. So in this example here, we'll just start off by, we're going to do, so what we're going to do is going to show that we're going to be, right now we just have one interface, an ETH0. And if we just do an slookup, we say, okay, DerbyCon.con. Oh, I don't have a network. Oh no. Play video. Backup demo. All right. It's really small. How do I make this bigger? Shit. All right. So what's going on here is I'm doing an slookup just to show that this is the DerbyCon IP. And I really apologize. This is terribly small. Do you know how?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. Well, what we're showing is on ETH0. We just have, we're going to send 3 packets out ETH0. C3? Okay.
Hello folks, I'm Geek here. I'm not quite sure what happened to the video rig here. Slides continue, and normally it would be a permanent crash, but for some reason audio starts coming back about the 21-minute, 35-second mark. So I'll have to do some investigation. I'm really looking at buying some of those StarTech capture devices to replace some of the heavy media ones. But, sorry for the inconvenience.
interface showing that we're not sending anything else to regular interface anymore. And now we're going to do a port scan on the DerbyCon website. And yeah, sure, I signed the waiver. And we're showing that, okay, on the regular interface, no traffic's going out, but we see on all the other interfaces that load is being split up evenly between. We're not getting duplicates. All this scales dynamically, like you said, up to 20 or more in the are like, you know, and we can do something. That's it. Oh, when you're done, go back to the tab and hit enter, and in the order that was provisioned, it shuts it all down. So it removes all this stuff, like it shuts some images, it turns down the key, turns down the firewall rules. I wouldn't do that Amazon firewall rules that provision dynamically. Sorry? Just hit enter. Because it lives in the script until we do that. Oh. Any questions? All right. All this stuff's free online at our GitHub site. Feel free to play these. If you have any bugs, send up there. We're very responsive for any changes. Bye.